Welcome to 9.2 Special Right Triangles. There are some formulas that we need to look at here, but let's write them in a way that you can understand them. If you notice, we have something right here and down here. These are the formulas. We're going to write them a little bit differently using just the letters. So what's key is that you notice you have 45, 45, 90 degree triangle. Okay? And in a 45, 45, 90 degree triangle, the base legs theorem says that the opposite legs are the same. So that's why this n is the same as that n. Now, how do they get to n square root of 2? You don't need to worry about that until you get to trig. Let's just figure out the formula. The hypotenuse is equal to the leg times the square root of 2. So there's two positions. They're going to give you one, and you got to find the other one. Okay, and then on the 30, 60, 90 triangles, 30, 60, 90. So the first step you have to do is figure out which triangle you have, either a 30, 60, 90 or 45, 45, 90. So if you have a 30, 60, 90, none of these are the same. And we have these two formulas here. So you have to use two formulas for the 30, 60, 90. So the hypotenuse on the 30, 60, 90 is 2 times the short leg. And the longer leg is the shorter leg times the square root of 3. So notice that these two are very similar, and this is where students make their mistakes. So you have to be very careful, and then you also have the similarity because you have hypotenuse in both of them. So it can be confusing, but just remember the 45, 45, 90 has two 45-degree angles, and that's the one that has the square root of 2 in it. And the hypotenuse, that's what we're looking for. Just a different way of thinking about it. But it can be confusing. All right, so let's go and let's do our first problem. Okay, so find the value of x. Write your answer in simplest form. So we see that we have a 45-degree angle here, which means this has to be 45 if that's 90. So there's 180 degrees in a triangle. 180 minus 90 is 90. 90 minus 45 gives me 45. So we know this is a 45, 45-degree triangle, which means opposite legs are the same. But we didn't need to know that one. We want to know this one. So the formula is the leg times the square root of 2. We don't know the hypotenuse, that's x, and the leg is 7. 7 times the square root of 2. And that is actually the answer. You're supposed to write it in simplest form, which means we're done. Number 2, if you see that your legs are the same, then that means that your angles are the same. It's the base angles theorem, so those are both, they have to be 45 degrees. All right, so again, we use the exact same formula, and we fill in what we have. The hypotenuse is x, our leg is 5 square root of 2, and we're multiplying that by the square root of 2. So the leg is the 5 square root of 2. And now you see we have doubles. So that would be 5 times 2, which is 10. Okay, number 3. So since these two are the same, then that means this is a 45, 45-degree triangle. So we have to use our formula. Hypotenuse equals the leg times the square root of 2. So the hypotenuse is 3 square root of 2. We don't know what the leg is. The leg is x times the square root of 2. So we have to divide off the square root of 2. And anything over itself is 1. So 3 times 1 is 3. And that's x. Over here we have 45. So this one's 45. So again, the hypotenuse is equal to the leg times the square root of 2. Hypotenuse is 9. The leg is x. So now we divide off the square root of 2. But now you can't leave it as 9 over the square root of 2. We have to do a rationalization, meaning we have to remove it from the denominator. In order to do that, if we had a pair, they'd go away. So whatever you do to the bottom, you also have to do to the top. So now you have 9 square root of 2, and since we have a pair, that's just 2. And 9 over 2 doesn't reduce, so that is x. Okay, number 5, find the values of x and y. Okay, the hypotenuse is twice the short leg, and the long leg is the short leg times the square root of 3. So that's what you use for a 30, 60-degree triangle. Okay, so let's just fill both equations in. The hypotenuse is y. This short leg, this is shorter than this one, so 9. The long leg is x. The short leg again is 9. And pretty much we're done. Y equals 18 and x equals 9 square root of 3. And that can't be broken down any further. So again, hypotenuse equals twice the short leg, and the long leg equals the short leg times the square root of 3. Okay, so we have a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So the hypotenuse is y. This short leg is x. The long leg is 3 square root of 3. Short leg is x times the square root of 3. So I just filled in all the variables. Now let's do the problem. Well, I can't do anything with the first one. There's too many variables, but I can solve for x here. So let's divide off the square root of 3 to get x by itself. So x is equal to 3, and now we can substitute it into the other equation. 2 times 3, so y is 6, and x is 3. Okay, hypotenuse is twice the short leg. The long leg is the short leg times the square root of 3. It's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. All right, hypotenuse is 24. The short leg is y. The long leg is x. The short leg is y. So we can't solve the second equation until we solve the first one. Divide off the 2, and 12 is y. And now we can substitute it into that equation, 12 square root of 3. So y is 12, and x is 12 square root of 3. Okay, number 8. Hypotenuse is twice the short leg. The long leg is square root of 3. Oops, short leg times the square root of 3. All right, hypotenuse is 12 square root of 3. And the short leg is y in this case. The long leg is x. Short leg is y. And again, we can't solve the second one because there's two variables. So we're going to divide off the 2 in the first one. And the 12 halves reduced to 6 square root of 3. That's y. So now we substitute it into the other equation. 6 square root of 3 times that square root of 3. Okay? And we have a pair. So that is 6 times 3, which is 18. So x is 18 and y is 6 square root of 3. Now, what did they do wrong? Let's solve this first. Let's go ahead and solve it. Hypotenuse is twice the short leg. The long leg is the short leg times the square root of 3. So hypotenuse, we don't know. The short leg is 7. So the hypotenuse is 14. Let's take a look and see what they did here. Hypotenuse equals the short leg times the square root of 3. So they messed this up. This should be the long leg. If they're doing it times the square root of 3, the long leg should be here. And that's the short leg times the square root of 3. So that's what they did wrong. Hypotenuse should be 14. All right, same thing. We have a 45, 45. So now we need the hypotenuse is equal to the leg times the square root of 2. So they have the leg times 2. So they're mixing up all the formulas. So let's solve this. The hypotenuse, we don't know. The leg is the square root of 5 times the square root of 2. Those don't break down, so you have to put them together. So the square root of 10 is the hypotenuse. Sketch the figure that is described. Find the indicated length. Write your answer in the simplest form. Okay, the perimeter of a square, so let's draw a square, is 36. So all the sides are the same. There's 4 of them. So if we divide by 4, we get 9, 9, 9, and 9. Find the length of the diagonal. Well, it was 90 degrees, and now these are 45s. And we can get the length of the diagonal. That's our hypotenuse. So a 45-degree formula is the leg times the square root of 2. So we don't know the hypotenuse. The leg is 9. And that doesn't break down any further, so that's the answer. Equilateral triangle means that all the sides are the same. Okay. And the side length is 5. So each of these are 5. Okay. Find the length of the altitude. So we drop an altitude down. And what is that? Okay, so here's what happens. This is a 60, a 60, and a 60-degree triangle. The altitude splits it, so that'll be 30 degrees. So here we have a 30, 60 right triangle. This is 5, This little leg here is going to be 2.5. And that's going to be our long leg. Now, hypotenuse is twice the short leg, and the long leg is the short leg times the square root of 3. I don't want to use the 2.5, so let's mess with this a little bit. Well, we already have the hypotenuse and the short leg, so we have to. So the long leg is the short leg, 2.5 times the square root of 3. So they don't like it like that. So 2.5 is the same thing as 5 halves times the square root of 3, or 5 square root of 3 over 2. That's probably how they have it. But if you use a calculator, you can figure that out. Find the area of the figure. Write your answer in simplest form. So this is a square. All four sides are the same. It's 90 degrees. So the area of a square is base times height, except the base and the height are the same. So we call that s squared for the side. So we need to find the side. So since it's a square, this is a 45, 45, 90-degree triangle. Hypotenuse is the leg times the square root of 2. So we need the leg. The hypotenuse is 8. So divide off the square root of 2. And now we're going to have to rationalize. That's what this is called. We need a pair on the bottom. So what you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So this is 8 square root of 2 over 2, or 4 square root of 2. That's the leg. And the area is the leg squared. So 4 square root of 2 squared. That means you have 4 square root of 2 times 4 square root of 2. It's all multiplication. So 4 times 4 is 16, and you have a pair of 2. So that means 32 is the area, 32 square feet. Okay, so we have a parallelogram here, base times height. We have to get the height here, which is the long leg. This is my short leg. We don't know what S is, or the long leg. So area is base times height. In this case, the base is 5, and the height is the long leg. Okay, we have to get the long leg. So the long leg is the short leg times the square root of 3. Well, I don't have the short leg. So I do have the hypotenuse. I can get the short leg. Hypotenuse is twice the short leg. Hypotenuse is 4. So we're dealing with this triangle right here. Hypotenuse is 4. So the short leg, we divide by 2. So the short leg is 2. All right, so now we can do the long leg. The long leg is the short leg, 2 times the square root of 3. Okay, so now we plug that in to our formula. We have 5 times 2 square root of 3, which is 10 square root of 3 square meters. That is our area. Okay, so the drawbridge is 284 feet long, half of it, so each part of the bridge. So once this, excuse me, this will be 3 problems. So the first one, we want 30 degrees. So if this is 30, the hypotenuse is still 284 every time. So this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. It wants the height. So this will be the short leg on this one. That's the long leg. So the hypotenuse is twice the short leg. Hypotenuse is 284. So we divide off the 2. That's going to be 142. So 142 feet is the height. Now, let's go ahead and do the 60 degree one. Okay, that's 30, 60, 90, okay. Now we're looking for the long leg. Again, the bridge is 284 feet, the hypotenuse. So the long leg is twice, the short leg times the square root of 3. So we don't have the short leg, we got to get it. So again, the hypotenuse is twice the short leg. So 284 divided by 2. So that's 144. Yeah, it's a short leg. So the long leg is going to be 144 square root of 3. And that's feet. Okay. Now, if we do a 45, 45, which is what we looks like in the picture, I'll just draw it separately. 45 and 45. So the legs are the same. That's our hypotenuse, which is 284. So in a 45, 45, the hypotenuse is the leg times the square root of 2. So 284 divided by the square root of 2. You have to rationalize that. So we need a pair on the bottom, which means we have to multiply the top by the same thing. So 284 over, square root of 2 over 2. Or 142 square root of 2. Oops, this should be a 2 for the long leg. 142. Okay, and those are your lengths for all the different triangles. A nut is shaped like a regular hexagon, okay, with side lengths of 1 centimeter. Find the value of x. Okay, so basically what we're looking at is a triangle here, and we need to get this altitude and multiply it by 2. Alright, so how do I get this degree? Well, how many degrees are in a circle? 360. How many angles do we have there? 6 divided by 6. Each one is 60 degrees. So I'm going to blow this bottom one up here. So you have this big triangle here. This is 60. We're going to drop the altitude down, which splits this into 30 degrees. And each of these are 60 as well. So this triangle right here is a 30, 60, 90. Yeesh. And since this whole thing is 1 centimeter, this will be 1/2 of a centimeter. How do we get the altitude? That's our long leg in the triangle. Okay, so the long leg is equal to the short leg times the square root of 3. So the long leg, we don't know. The short leg is 1/2 times the square root of 3. So the long leg is square root of 3 over 2. Now we got to multiply that by 2 to get x. So you're going to get 2's to reduce out, and the answer is just the square root of 3. That is square root of 3 centimeters. That's the height of that hexagon-shaped nut. And that is our, those are our answers. And notice on 16, that was the answer. And they did use decimals on that number 15. Okay, good job.